Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my team selection for Game Week 21 and the transfers that I'm thinking of making. If you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment. What are your FPL plans for Game Week 21? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, a quick recap of Game Week 20. The last time I recorded a video, we still had not played Wolves away. Forest absolutely dominated that game. 6 wins in a row. The dream is still alive. If we beat Liverpool next Tuesday, I don't even know, man. It's anyone can dream. But yeah, finished on 92 points because of that Chris Wood goal and the 2 bonus points there. So yeah, had a very, very good week. A game week rank of 116,000. Unfortunately, with no Forest defenders, though, I'm just out of the top 100k now. I'm rank 100,567th in the world. So I was actually 95k until that Forest game. And even with the 8 points from Chris Wood, because I didn't own a defender, I obviously kind of rocked my game week a little bit. But either way, in 92 points, I'm not going to argue about that at all. It's been my best game week of the season in comparison to kind of like other FPL managers and stuff like that. So very, very happy. Only 3 players blanked, which was Raya, Gabriel, and Robinson, which were players that I was kind of expecting them to get something. But either way, Raya got 3, Gabriel got 2, Robinson got 1. Kirkes with the big 12-pointer, massive differential, absolutely smashed it out of the park. So happy that he finally returned. Milankovic also got the clean sheet this week, but Kirkes did double his score, so I was very happy about that. And Bumo with the big 19-pointer. This is obviously where all the points mainly came from. A massive differential. Well, not a massive differential, but just enough where it absolutely skyrocketed my rank. Salah with the 14 points, Palmer with the 10, Bruno Fernandes with the 7. Obviously, that was a massive thing for me this week because Trent got 0. And Fernandes wiped the clean sheet, got 7 points. So I was very, very happy about that. And that was the fixture that I was worried about as well. He's now got Southampton at home, which, you know, arguably, you'd like to think he'll get something in that game. But it'd be Man United fashion for them to go and draw at Anfield and then go and lose at home to Southampton. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And then my strikers absolutely smashing it this week. Joao Pedro with the 9 points, Wood with the 8 points, and Isak with the 7. I got my bench completely right, barring Munoz and Robinson, because Munoz picked up 2, Colwell with 1, and then Rodgers obviously was banned, so could not play. So he's on 0 points. So yeah, 92. Obviously, the information has come out that Joao Pedro has twisted his ankle, which is not ideal because I've held him through the tough fixtures, and even though he's been kind of getting points throughout those tough fixtures, he's now got a good fixture run, but he's gone and twisted his ankle in training. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more later on in the video when I'm talking about the transfer portion, because the information we know about it is not enough for me to sell, but it also isn't great because of the fixture congestion that they've got coming up. So anyway, that was game week 20, 92 points, massive green arrow from, I don't know what I was. I think I was on like 250k to like 100k, so it was a solid green arrow. Game week rank 116k, very happy. Let's try and do it again. Probably not going to happen, but either way, let's move on to my team selection for Game Week 21, which of course is this Tuesday, 14th of January, or next Tuesday, should I say, 14th of January at 6 p.m. There won't be a deadline stream for it, unfortunately, because I do play football on Tuesdays, so yeah, I'm going to talk about my transfer plans on Monday anyway, because we'll know more information about injuries and stuff like that. We'll have some more cup games that have been played, etc. So, yeah, that'll be like kind of my final video for the game week. But either way, let's take a look at what my team selection is currently looking like right now. So I've got Raya in goal, who's at home to Spurs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about this fixture. I know that Arsenal just lost to Newcastle at home 2-0 and Spurs just beat Liverpool 1-0. But at the same time, I still think that because it's that North London derby, I think it's going to be very congested. And I mean, Spurs are still relatively depleted as well, but I could easily see Solanke just nabbing a goal and just ruining that double clean sheet. So I'm not sure whether to play the double defense this week and maybe bring in a different defender to kind of like deal with that. But either way, as of right now, I've got Raya, who's in goal, Spurs at home, Munoz, who's got Leicester away, Gabriel, who's got Spurs at home, and then Robinson, who's got West Ham away. I really, really wish West Ham didn't sack their manager before Robinson took him on, because I feel like now, with these new managers coming in, obviously Dyche has been sacked, West Ham manager's been sacked, you've got Potter coming in, you've got all these other managers coming in, and it's it would have been a really nice fixture for Robinson, but now I feel like they're going to have that new manager bounce, and because it's away as well, the atmosphere at West Ham is going to be ecstatic. So I think that it's not a great time to play them. But, you know, Bowen's still out. There's still the potential there for a clean sheet. So I really hope that Robinson can get something from that game. Like I say, double Arsenal defense is a little bit of a risky one this week. I'm not completely settled on it. I could always bring in somebody else. Like Lewis Hall's there that I might bring in this week for Kirkes and just play him over Gabriel. Then if Gabriel goes and gets a bullet header, I'll be kicking myself. So that's something to think about. But yeah, that is a transfer that I potentially could make this week. And then Munoz, who's got Leicester away. I'm expecting big things from Munoz this week. I know it's not a home fixture, but Leicester do not look very good at the moment. And Munoz is just getting so forward in those positions. It's a joy to have him in your team when he's getting so forward as a fullback. So that's the back line and the goalkeeper. In midfield, it looks pretty okay. We've got Bruno Fernandes, who's at home to Southampton. Potential captaincy shout this week. I mean, you never know. We've got Palmer, who's got Bournemouth at home. We've got Salah, who's got Forest away. And then we've also got Mbeumo, who's got City at home. So I'm not worried about playing Mbeumo in this fixture, just simply because City, they didn't look great defensively in their last games. I know they've had some pretty good scorelines over the last games against West Ham and Leicester, but it was West Ham and Leicester. I mean, Brentford are notoriously good at home, and with how bad City have been defensively, I think Mbeumo could easily get something on the counter-attack. So I'm not really worried about that. I don't think he's an immediate sell at all. I'm absolutely fine holding him for a while now, and especially because, you know, he's on penalties, and, you know, he's got like 12, 13 goals this season. He's got a ridiculous amount of goals this season. Like, he's not a player that I need to get rid of. And I know if he hadn't just got a 19-point haul, maybe it'd be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it just solidified how good he is for his price, because he can get those explosive hauls. He can get a penalty. He can get an assist, and like, he takes set pieces, stuff like that most of the time. It's a useful player to have. So yeah, I'm not really thinking about getting rid of him. Salah, Forest away, current captaincy. I'm not really too excited about that this week. You know, I think the City ground, with how good we've got the most clean sheets this season, and it's like a top of the table clash. It's a bit of an unreal fixture. I think it's going to be very congested. I think we are just going to be playing counter-attack football as we have done all season. And I think that's going to work well for us. If Trent starts and has a stinker like he did against Man United, then I think we're going to eat him alive on the wing, especially with the pace of our players, because they are so fast, like Hudson-Odoi and Elanga and stuff, and even Ola Aina and stuff. Like, these players are just going to be, I think they might be too much for them to handle, hopefully anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm living in dreamland a bit too much, but I think Forest away is going to be a tough season. You got to think that apart from that Spurs game that's just happened, it's his only loss this season. Well, it's his only league loss this season, so I think that's going to be playing a part in it as well. So I don't know. I'm still going to captain Salah, I think, just because every time I haven't, he's punished me. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he blanks, basically, is what I'm going to say there. But either way, that's the midfield. And up top, we've got Joao Pedro with Ipswich away, Wood, who's got Liverpool at home, and then Isak with Wolves at home there as well. So, you know, it's only penalty takers in my team right now, which I'm very happy about. We got 3 penalties last weekend. You know, Pedro got one, and Mbeumo got one, and Salah got one. Wood should have got one, really. It's okay because we won 3-0, but I would have been absolutely fuming if we drawn or lost that game and that wasn't given as a penalty. It was. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Forest fan, but the fact that the exact same thing happened to Man United this weekend and Liverpool got the penalty for it just shows. I don't know. Maybe I don't really know. Maybe you should tell me your thoughts on it in the comments. But De Ligt cannot move his arm out the way. You know, that's literally like, I know it's in an unnatural position, but it literally hits his arm, and then it's obviously a penalty. He's not going to be able to move his arm away out of the way like that quick. He just can't do it. But that's a penalty. But then Nori does that, like, puts his arm up, which is an unnatural position, clearly hits him, has plenty of time to move it out of the way, and it's not given as a penalty. I'm salty about it because it would have been a Chris Wood penalty. Could have got another 4 points from it. Probably would have got max bonus as well. So it was 5 points really. But yeah, I just feel like it's a little bit hard done by. But we won 3-0 anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But I mean, at the end of the day, Wolves have had a lot of decisions go against them. I know this one didn't really help them out in the long run, but I don't see how the United one can be a penalty and the Forest one isn't. I just don't. I can't get my head around that. But yeah, and then we've got Isak, who's got Wolves at home, Rodgers with Everton away, Colwell with Bournemouth at home, and then Kirkes with Chelsea away. I've got a pretty strong bench, to be fair. I could easily get rid of Ward this week and go for a bench boost, but I don't think it's going to be on the cards anytime soon. I think bench boosting later on in the season is definitely the way to go. But that's the current team. So originally what I was... Well, let's take a look at the transfers. I can't even remember what I was originally going to do. I haven't really looked at my team this week because obviously it's just cup games and stuff like that. And with injuries, there's no point of really properly taking a look because, you know, one player can get injured and then that just changes your plans completely, like Joao Pedro twisting his ankle. So he was going to be a player that I was obviously going to keep because the fixture run for them is not too bad. Like Ipswich away, United away, Everton at home, Forest away, and then Chelsea at home. It's not terrible. You know, there's some nice fixtures in there. He's on penalties. He's cheap. You know, he was just going to be rolling him for every single game week. Now that he's twisted that ankle, it is a little bit of an issue because the fixture congestion for Brighton. They've got Ipswich away on the Thursday, and then they've got United away on the Sunday. So that's 2 games in like a few days. And if his ankle is not properly decent by then, he's probably going to miss it, and it's just, you don't want to be missing fixtures like that. And I guess I do have bench cover this week with Rodgers and stuff, but Everton away is not a great fixture. But then again, they have just sacked Dyche, so maybe it will be a good fixture now. You never know. But I really like to be playing Joao Pedro against Ipswich away. I really would. And there's not really anybody that I kind of am looking at instead. Like, in terms of strikers for 1.7, if I go to forwards, out of the ones that I don't own, there's not really a lot of players that I really want. Like Raul Jimenez obviously has smashed it lately, but I'm still not convinced by his minutes. And you know, they're both on penalties. West Ham and Leicester away are obviously really good fixtures. But again, with that rotation risk, he didn't start in the cup last night, which is quite good for him. But yeah, apart from that, I'm not properly convinced by him. When I owned Raul Jimenez, he did absolutely nothing for me. And then as soon as I got rid of him, he absolutely smashed it. Obviously, Cunha's back now. But again, the fixtures that they've got is just not ideal. Newcastle, Chelsea away, and then Arsenal at home. Watkins, I don't have the money for because I can go up to 7.4. So I think I could bring in Solanke maybe if I wanted to. No, he's 7.5, so I'm 0.1 off that. So yeah, there's not really any strikers that I'm thinking of really bringing in. You know, you could go Jesus. Evan Nilsson's out, so maybe a Bournemouth striker instead, but their fixtures are terrible. Yeah, there's not really anybody. Like Jackson maybe, but he's 8.1, so I won't be able to do that. I'd be able to get to him if I use 2 transfers, but I don't really want to do that. I think I've just got to hope that Joao Pedro is fine and I just roll that transfer instead. Obviously at the back, I am thinking of getting rid of Kirkes. I'd like to get rid of him because the fixtures are just so bad. You know, Chelsea away, Newcastle away, Forest home, Liverpool at home. Obviously Southampton away and Wolves at home is fine for that, but you know, maybe he could be a hold. He could be a hold for a couple of weeks, but I get rid of Colwell instead. But I don't know, I could play him against Wolves at home instead in that week. I've just got to think, like, who can I play over the next few game weeks? And honestly, the Arsenal fixtures aren't ideal. I can play Robinson and Munoz for the next 3 weeks, fine. Maybe not the Man United at home for Robinson. So I need to sort out, like, Kirkes and Colwell, really, if I'm not going to be getting rid of... And I need to bring in Trent as well, that's the other thing. So one thing that I could do, obviously, is get rid of Colwell, bring in Hall, which I'm not against doing it all, because I just want to get rid of Colwell. He's been an absolute meme to own this season, honestly. He's not really done much for me at all. Hall is up to 4.9 now, so he's quite an expensive player. But yeah, I could bring him in for Hall, and then I always can go from Gabriel to Trent at any time, really, because I just have the money in the bank for that. Trent is 7.2, but I think if he doesn't get anything against Forest and Brentford before the Ipswich game, I think he could go down in price as well. And for me, I don't think there's a lot of a point of bringing him, because I've got Chris Wood against him this week, and then I've got Mbumo against him the week after. And then obviously when Ipswich rolls around is when I want my Liverpool players. But I just think for now it's not really worth bringing him in, because I've always got an attacker playing him. I think I just have to... Like, I got very lucky with the Liverpool-Man United game because he got 0 there. That's not going to happen every single week, obviously. But I mean, Forest is a tough place to go, and then Brentford's a tough place to go as well, so you never know. And I need to be bringing in other Liverpool players as well, because I want 3 for that triple up. And maybe if, you know, they do get Moisey into the Everton squad, I'll probably want to bring in an Everton player as well for that double. So... yeah, there's a lot of talk to kind of think about, and that's why I don't really want to be using a transfer on Joao Pedro, because I need to be bringing in these double game week players now, and especially with like how the Carabao Cup's going as well. Like, there's certain teams that are going to be blanking and stuff, so I want to bring in like a load of players from there. So a lot to kind of like think about now, but either way, that's kind of like my transfer plans at the moment. Joao Pedro, I think I'm just going to save him. If he is out, you know, I guess Rodgers comes off the bench. And I just gotta hope that he's fine. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get a press conference before, because I think he's going to miss the FA Cup game, and I don't think we're going to get a press conference before the deadline. So it's one of those where, you know, if he's seen in training, then great, but, you know, if he's not, then it's going to be a bit of a risk. I think I'll probably just hold him, because I think I've got a bit of money saved up in him as well. I can't remember. Maybe I don't, actually. I can't remember how much I brought him for. If I go to the list, I brought him for... yeah, I only brought him for 5.7, so I don't even have any money left in him anyway, so I could get rid of him if I wanted to. I thought he was more than that. Maybe he went down in price. I don't know. Either way, though, it's definitely something to think about. But that's everything for my team selection video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and until next time, peace.